I'm Nate. I run Views, a flagship YouTube agency that does 100 million views a year for top personal brands and businesses. And I use AI every single day. So super excited to be here.
Okay, if you were to start a personal brand, what would be kind of the first thing? I know it's kind of, some people say you should start it. Some people say you should at least gain experience before talking about the thing. In your experience, what would you do?
I think almost everybody should start a personal brand. You can be successful without it, but personal brand offers a unique advantage that pretty much nobody really talks about. So I'll give you a quick example. I had a client. We're building up a podcast for them. They're this AI startup. They've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I told the founder, dude, you're not posting anywhere. Like, what are we doing? You need to start posting on Twitter. So this guy posts a few times on Twitter. I give him some basic best practices. It's been 3 days. He has 15 followers, and he has a call with an investor set up for this week. Off of 3 posts, he got a retweet from me, he got a retweet from a couple other people, got some engagements. Randomly, he's hopping on a call with a guy who is investing in creator startups. This is the advantage. This is one advantage, at least a personal brand offers you. Personal brand, people follow people on social media. Everybody is consuming content, whether it's on X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. If you have a big personal brand, you immediately jump and have an advantage over everybody else who does not have a personal brand. For myself, there's not really anything special about me. I mean, granted, there are some things. I'll toot my own horn a little bit, and I'm really good at YouTube. But the only reason any of that matters is because people know that I'm good at YouTube. Personal brand is how you start relationships. If I think of any client I've ever closed, they close because they know that I'm going to blow them up on YouTube and get them a bunch of business. But there's other people that can do that too. The reason they close with me is because I've built enough rapport with them before the sales call, then I build rapport with them on the sales call, and it all stems from the personal brand. By the time somebody hops on a call with me, they've seen many of my YouTube videos. They've seen my second channel where I'm posting almost every day. They've seen my Twitter where I'm posting 10 to 40 times a day. Maybe they've seen my Instagram. Maybe they've seen the stack of monsters on my table. Crazy story. I booked a sales call with a guy. So I moved into Miami. I moved into my new apartment in Miami around 8 or 9 days ago. And I had all these boxes. And this one guy was like, can you stack them to the ceiling? So I did. And this other guy engaged with that post. And as a result, hopped on a sales call because we started a conversation in the DMs. That is the power of a personal brand, dude. Business is won through people. Again, there's other ways to succeed. But personal brand offers an opportunity for somebody with maybe not that many connections, maybe not that many skills, maybe not, somebody who has all this experience. I've been on YouTube for 7 years. I'm sure there's people that have been doing YouTube since it was founded, but I have a unique advantage over them because not only am I good at what I do, actually, I would argue one of the best at what I do, I have a personal brand that basically starts the conversations, gets my foot in the door. It's almost like, you graduate from Harvard, then you can go hit up everybody, all these Harvard alums on email and then get a job from them, right? It's the same thing because I have a personal brand. If I follow somebody, if I DM somebody, if I like somebody's post, immediately that interaction holds much more weight than anybody else, regardless of experience, because they see the personal brand. It's this sort of, it's this sort of implicit trust and bias that is built when you have a personal brand. It gives you leverage is the ultimate thing I would say. Regardless of how big you are, where you're posting, if you're doing it, you have leverage that other people don't have.
Everyone talks about moats, right? So there's only a few moats that kind of remain. In your opinion, is distribution kind of one of the last moats in a world where everything can be built?
Dude, 100%. Bro, distribution can get you anything you want. That's the crazy thing. I don't come from a business background. I come from a social media background, which gives me a set of eyes that most people in the world of business do not have. This is called the Flow Alarm Clock, not sponsored, but I absolutely love this brand. Bro, do you think there's anything special about this clock?
Right.
Bro, there's nothing special about it. It's a piece of rubber, and it's like an NFC tag or whatever the Apple terminology is. Like, this is literally like nothing, bro. And it literally like makes money off of you paying to like snooze it because you're lazy. Like, this is like nothing. This is air. And like I paid like $75 for this thing. You know why I did? Because I saw it in all these UGC TikToks. I saw it on Instagram. I saw the ads. And the only reason the ads did good is because I've heard of this thing because of its distribution. Like, there's plenty of competitors. Funny enough, I was in Chicago 2 months ago, and my like Apple Pay wasn't working. I needed like a physical card to get on the train, and I didn't have my wallet. Funny enough, I had lost it the day before. And this random like college kid comes up and just like pays for my ticket. I'm like, dude, thank you so much. He's like, yeah, man. And we start talking, whatever. I can tell he's like very ambitious as I'm ambitious. And he shows me his product, which is basically like kind of like this. It like bricks your phone. It's like an NFC tag. And I have it, but I don't use it. What I use is I use this because it has slightly more features. And I could have just said, you know what, I already have this thing. Like, it does most of what I want. But no, like, distribution saved this product that is identical to, like, so many other products. I could probably copy this with, like, 10 minutes of research on how to, like, build a rubber block and, like, an NFC tag.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to. Like, this product sells well because of its distribution. You could say the same about, you know, different influencers. Look at any streamer who has leverage. Like Neon, for example. I love Neon's content, but Neon's like a normal dude, right? But this guy has ultimate leverage to do anything. He's getting paid tens of thousands of dollars to make content, and it's purely because of distribution.
You know, well, Clav, he just dropped his, I believe, his looks maxing app. And whatever you want to say about, I don't know who designed it, but, you know, a lot of these apps you see are just ChatGPT wrappers, right? And so now it's like, well, I can make that, but no one's gonna, like, to your point, no one's gonna buy my thing. I don't have the eyeballs. Clav can build anything, and then he just sends it to the engine, to the machine, and it's like, man, a money printer, right?
Bro, the reality is, whoever is most relevant is culture, is who is most popping on socials. I'll highlight TikTok in particular. If you're popping on TikTok, you own culture. Like, how do you think Clavicular blew up? Do you think it's because he has 10,000 people watching his stream on Kick? Absolutely not. 10,000 people is, like, nothing in the world of, like, modern culture, right? This dude's getting on, like, Fox News and, like, the Today Show and, like, in the newspapers. Like, my mom is, like, in her 40s and, like, she knows who this dude is. Like, there's no reason why she should. It's not like she's consuming look-maxing content. But this guy owns culture, right? TikTok plays a role. TikTok is very, you know, news-focused, quick turnarounds, etc. X is very, very kind of similar in different types of niches. I would say it has a bit of a more maybe educational focus in some spaces. In other spaces, it's just quick news. YouTube is huge in the world of education in particular because you're spending the most time with people. Distribution can literally make or break anything you're doing, whether you're trying to get famous, whether you're trying to sell a product, sell a service. YouTube, in particular, is also one of your best tools to do so. You're spending the most time with your viewers. People convert your offers at higher percentages, and there's way less competition. So, I mean, post everywhere, but distribution truly is a moat for any industry.
What would kind of be your roadmap, if you will, to go about garnering distribution? Like, what are kind of the easy 3 steps someone could take? They're posting some content. They're kind of stuck in that, you know, the 200 view jail, as they say. What would you recommend?
If you're a business and you're serious about actually getting distribution just immediately solved for you, the best thing you can do is just hire somebody. Look at any of the top growing personal brands, businesses, products, services. These people are not figuring this out themselves. They are always hiring somebody. Even the best people in terms of content, for example, I used Lance Baker of Base. This guy is an absolute content genius. He films like, 20 or 30 times a day. Absolute dog when it comes to content. But he has a creative director. Iman Gadzhi literally appointed a CEO to his business so that he could only focus on content. And even he has a creative director. Okay, regardless of your expertise, especially if you don't have a lot of expertise in content, the quickest way to do anything is to hire somebody 100% of the time. Even for me, I've been doing YouTube for 7 years. My business is a YouTube business. I blow people up on YouTube for a living, and I have a creative director for myself as well because it always helps to have a second set of eyes on what you're doing. The reality is if something is yours and you're trying to make content about it, you're going to have many biases. You're going to have things that you overlook. You're going to have things that are basically clouded by the judgment of your own perception of yourself. So a huge aspect of personal brand, for example, is branding yourself around your unique strengths, right? For example, we use the example of a streamer, let's say, right? If a streamer is like super tall, super athletic, but like they're really bad at getting girls, then the guy in his head might be like, oh, I'm super tall, I should make content about getting girls. But the creative director can be like, listen, no, you need to do something else. You can't make Riz content just because you think you can get girls. Because truthfully, you can't get girls. You're actually this, and this. We need to make content about that. Right? As a business owner, you might think, I'm an expert in my industry. I'm going to make this video that's super, super niche for my ICP. But the creative director can come in and say, listen, like the average person is not going to care about this. And even your ICP is not going to care that much, right? The way the social algorithms work is they're optimized for mass market. So you don't want to just optimize for your ICP. And we should talk about this later too. Very controversial take I have on how to effectively approach growing a personal brand. But you should not target your ICP, your target avatar with your content. You should target something slightly broader. right? And again, pull out your best strengths, right? You might think that you're super professional and super wise and super like badass, top G. So you get like the guru wall behind you and you start like yelling at people and standing up and like got your shirt like unbuttoned hella, right? But you know, somebody that you hire in or somebody else in your team can be the one to kind of put you in your place and be like, this is not you, this is actually you, which is actually a crucial part of personal branding.
Regarding the era of content, even if you look at Hermosi now, I've seen like now he's trying to do the reality show a little bit, right? But he's also giving the sauce, so you'll stay to watch, right? It's like Shark Tank, but now just for businesses. What he's doing too is now he's starting to have like, you know, like the Avengers cast, where now it's like him, it's Layla, and it's his, I think it's CO, Sharon, right? Now he's starting to do content, right? And then it all comes back to acquisition.com, right? It all comes back to the workshops or whatever.
Because I've worked with some of the biggest streamers in the entire world, on the YouTube side and even on the Kick side a bit. If you think like streams are actually real, you're tripping. You're in the middle. Some people think they're totally real. Some people think it's all staged. It's a mix of both. The best content in the world is staged, but not in the way that you think. So if you're hopping on a podcast or you're doing a stream, right? Those two things are actually the same because of the way you should approach it. A lot of people think that streamers just kind of let things happen naturally, or, you know, on a podcast, Hormozi's going on a podcast. Obviously they're doing things pretty naturally, but the way that clips go viral is you purposefully kind of twist the clip to go viral. So for example, right, if you hop on a podcast, you're not just going to answer questions normally. The best way to get a clip out of it is to always think with the clip in mind. So I've worked with some of the largest streamers in the world, and I've seen the way that they think about their streams. They are not just like going with the flow and just streaming to stream. Like that's literally such a big waste of time, especially if you're going to stream 7-8 hours out of the day, or you're going to hop on a podcast for 2 hours. What they're thinking of, they're realizing that, you know, on Kick, they're going to average 10,000 concurrent viewers, or on a podcast, it might get 100,000 views. Granted, that's a lot of people, but it's nothing compared to what the clips will get you, right? From one podcast, you can maybe get like 20 or 30 clips, and then obviously have variations on all those clips. Let's just say hundreds of clips. If you're able to optimize your answers, so each answer you have is a hook for a short, that's how you go viral. That's what all these people are doing, right? It doesn't mean that they're coming in with like pre-planned answers to questions, but top entrepreneurs and personal brands that go on podcasts are not just kind of going with the flow. In their mind, at least subconsciously, they're thinking of what's the hook going to be? What's the clip going to look like? Streamers do this too, right? If you're streaming a podcast or if you're streaming on the street, like they're not just going with the flow. They're always thinking, what is the clip going to look like? The long form content matters, but it doesn't matter as much as the actual clips. And if you're optimizing for the clips too, the long form is better, which is super interesting.
Okay. So if I'm doing, let's just say, with that in mind, if I'm doing a long form piece of content, how do I kind of engineer those clips in there? Is that coming down to like a script, script fundamentals kind of thing, or?
So if you write your YouTube scripts like this, you're going to get way more views without doing any extra work. So the way your script should be structured is exactly this. First, you're going to do a main hook that you write word for word. This is really important because the biggest drop-off in any long-form piece of content is going to be in the first 30 seconds because people have just clicked on your video or entered the stream, clicked on the podcast, and they're very susceptible to leave. After that, you should section out your video into chapters, or I call them talking points. So if it's the 10 things you should do to get rich, each thing is a chapter, right? Or if it's a story, then section it out into just logical sections. What is the video going to be divided up into? For each section, you need to have a sub hook. This is what most people miss. They think after the hook, they can just go and talk. They've been brainwashed to think that you should just yap on camera and then post it. Granted, it can work, but if you actually want close to 100% chance of success on social media over time, you need to be more structured and more intentional with the way you make content. So a very easy thing to do. It's no extra work, and it's going to get you literally like 10 to 100, even 1,000 times more views because of what we're going to do after this. You're going to put a sub hook at the start of each of your sections. Even better, you can do a sub hook for the long form video, and as you're recording, do another hook that kind of stands on its own. So the long form hook could be like, tip number 1, this is the thing that 99% of people miss but has the greatest impact on your success. Okay, so it opens a curiosity gap, and it kind of rehooks people so they're not just like, gonna leave in between sections. Because what people will actually do, you have these sections of your video that are kind of implicitly there already. Once they get to the end of one of the sections, they might feel like, wow, that was pretty good. I guess I can go do this now. I've gotten enough value. I don't know what's
Right.
going to come next. Like, they might waste my time. I'm just going to leave. But if you do a rehook, it's like, damn, he just told me that I need to stay for the rest of this section now because this is the one thing that everyone misses and it's really easy to do. I need to find out. Then you get to the next section, you do it again, you do it again, you do it again, you do it again, right? What you can even do, so that's the long form hook. It's like tip number 1, da-da-da-da-da, tip number 2, da-da-da, whatever. That won't really work in a short. Like, imagine you scroll on a short and the first thing is tip number 1. It's like what are we doing?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
What you do what's called a short form hook. So you
Okay.
have your long form hook, and then after you record that, you do a short form hook, which is a standalone hook. So that long form hook, it's like tip number 1. This is what 99% of people miss, but it's the number 1 thing that all successful people do. Your short form hook is going to be all successful people do this, but 99% of normal people don't do this. Boom. Like, so it's standing on its own. And then you just cut the short form hook out of the long form video. And then when you have the raw footage, you just use Claude or, another auto clipping tool to just cut out the shorts for you. That is what all top creators are doing. You think Alex Hormozy is sitting down and being like, what shorts should I film today? He probably has some ideas, or his team gives him some ideas to do shorts, but many of the shorts are either just clips from his long form videos, clips from his live streams, or clips from him speaking on stage, doing presentations, etc. If you ever do get invited to speak on stage, by the way, that's one of the best formats for educational YouTubers on the entire platform. Alex Hormozy's most viewed video is him speaking on a stage. From our data, because we'll encourage our clients to do this as well, these types of videos have some of the widest total addressable markets on the entire platform of educational videos. They tend to perform very well. They're very optimized. It creates a lot of initial trust and authority because if you're speaking on stage, you must have something good to say. Like, normal people don't just speak on stage.
Sure.
Right? I'm not saying we faked this. Actually, I am saying that. We've even faked this for clients too. You never really see the crowd in these videos. Like, you can literally just if I just stand up and I'm talking to a crowd, how are you going to know there's nobody there?
Right.
You can do this. People do this all the time. People do this on shorts too with podcasts. They'll do a fake podcast. Going like this.
Yeah.
Is probably one of the best shorts formats you can do as well. It feels natural. It feels like, damn, this guy's getting interviewed. There must be something good to say.
Sure.
These mastermind format, we call it the mastermind format when you're on stage. It works extremely well, and what's even better is if you can optimize it for content, right? If you just give a presentation, that's good. If you can optimize your presentation for content, even better. Not only is it going to make you a better presentation / mastermind, whatever you're doing for the people, because you're just optimizing for retention IRL instead of on the internet. It also makes it much, much more optimized for content, which is going to reach way more people and more of your ICP. You have 100 business owners in a room. I actually just spoke at a conference in South America. It was a YouTube conference. I gave a presentation to 50 business owners in a room. The presentation was really, really good. I got lots of positive feedback. It was an incredible experience. I posted it on YouTube. It has 6,000 views. And every time, and on Twitter, it has around 30,000 views. Every time I show up to a sales call, pretty much every time somebody has watched that video, which would not, be the case if I had just given a presentation. Instead, I did exactly what I just relayed to you. I scripted out the presentation like a YouTube video. I have a main hook, I have sections, and I have subhooks. It's literally just a YouTube video. Super, super easy, and it works well for content. Instead of just 50 views of people that are in person, which is great, I now have 30,000 views, and I've closed clients from this video too. It is an asset. It is no longer this thing that I just did. It is an asset. It is repurposing my content in a way that is incredibly efficient, and I encourage everyone else to do this too. Pretty much everything should be content.
Obviously, that is a massive one, speaking on stage or having that type of credibility, right? Whether that is on stage or engineering it some other way. What do you see to be working in other formats as well?
These are the best formats to make YouTube videos on in 2026. These will get you the most views, the most conversions, and build the most trust and reach and brand awareness for your YouTube channel. All right, number 1 is Mastermind. This is the best format for educational YouTubers because it shows you speaking on stage or to a crowd of people. It creates a lot of implicit trust and authority. These videos tend to be very long, which generates lots and lots of watch time, assuming they're retention optimized. It nurtures your viewers much more. You're giving them much more value. And as a result, the conversion in terms of subscribers, returning viewers, and sales / conversions to your first link in your description are going to be very, very high for this format. It couples a crazy amount of converting content with a ton of views as well, because these videos are optimized to go viral on YouTube, especially with the rise of TV viewers in 2026. Over 60% of watch time on YouTube in 2026 comes from TV viewers. Longer videos do very, very well on TVs because TV viewers watch for much, much longer, and they're used to watching for very long. So longer videos get pushed out on YouTube TV. Number 2 is the full course format. I make every single one of my clients make this type of video because it converts at very, very high percentages. You get lots and lots of sales from these videos. They get views over an insanely long period of time. They're very, very evergreen. They almost never stop getting views, and they get search views from other sources too. So they're not just getting views from YouTube recommended, which is very, very good, by the way. They're also getting very high intent views from YouTube Shorts. They get ranked in LLMs like ChatGPT and Claude, so you're also optimizing for your SEO. And they rank in Google very, very high as well because there's lots of metadata and a large transcription of data and text related to your video to pull from. Full course video works so well. These formats typically will underperform on your channel when you first post them if you're used to posting, 8 to 15-minute videos like most channels are. Never make a video longer than it needs to be. But in general, when we say make a video longer, it doesn't mean stretch something out. It means add more content. If you're an expert in what you do, you can add more value somehow.
Okay.
Like, it's not really a hard thing to do. You just add more stuff. But typically, like, when we're talking about a full course format, I baseline them around an hour. Some people do these 2 hours long, 4 hours, 6 hours. I've seen 20 hours done before. You can do it if you have the value, obviously. So I made this full course on my own channel. You'll notice here, first day, underperformer. Second day, underperformer. Third day, still underperformer. But over time, this video does not stop getting views. Even in the last 48 hours, that's 1,000 views of people watching a 1-hour video where I'm just absolutely spilling the sauce for them. Again, this is one of those videos where people hop on sales calls with me and they've watched the whole thing. I've had people tell me they've watched it 3 times over, right? It's the whole principle of like give. Just give all your best stuff away because people will eventually want you for the implementation, which in this case is a principle that I believe holds true. Notice too, the subscriber conversion is absolutely insane. I dropped out of college, so I can't do math that well, but this is a lot of subscribers for 150,000 views. And this is very concurrent across all client videos that we do that are full course formats as well. These videos start as underperformers, but are some of the longest evergreen videos on the channel, sometimes and actually oftentimes become their most viewed video or one of their most viewed videos, and are always some of their highest converting topics as well.
Okay. So second question regarding the full course. If I'm in an industry and others are doing the full course method, do I do a full course, or how do I tackle that so I can stand out with my full course?
Yeah, so ideally you're an expert in whatever you're making content on. If you steal someone else's full course and kind of say the same stuff,
right.
I mean, you can't trick the YouTube algorithm is the reality that most people don't want to face. You can't trick it. It's so good. Think of like how much data Google has on you. Like, if you search like you're going to buy a kayak, YouTube's going to recommend you videos about kayaks that you want to watch. Like they control you like a puppet. They know exactly what you want to watch. So you can't trick the YouTube algorithm. What you can do is you can make a video that actually gives a ton of value, right? If you're a day trader, well, right now there's like hundreds of day traders making full course videos.
Right.
I think you should still make it. But you need to be unique somehow. You need to, have a unique brand for yourself. You need to have unique experience, unique methods. If you are just eventually saying the same things as everybody else, then it's not about the algorithm not liking you. It's just like viewers are going to be like, I already watched the other full course.
Yeah.
Because understand the way YouTube recommends videos is they see viewers that have watched similar videos to yours. They gauge similar videos with their AI algorithm by looking at your title, your description, and your video's transcription. So like a text version of what you say in the video. And then based off that, they're going to be like, okay, Sam Jones has watched 10 other drop shipping videos, and this video is a drop shipping video, so we're going to recommend it to him. What this means is that if you're a small channel, the very first people that get shown your content are going to be people that have watched like a lot of videos in your niche. So if you just look and sound and say the same stuff as everybody else in your niche, and you're just using ChatGPT for your research and doing what everyone's brainwashed you to do and just, kind of half-ass it, then like you're going to get no results, right? On the contrary, if you build a stellar, unique, authentic brand for yourself, you look different than everybody else, the way you speak is different and true to yourself, and your experience is actually like super valid and you have some kind of unique advantage over people in your industry, Well, now we're talking. Now this is where you succeed, right? Are you just going to be another day trader flexing a Lambo, or are you going to be somebody with a brand? For example, like say you're like super fat and just like sit on the couch occasionally. Your brand could literally be, this is a banger brand, by the way. Someone should steal this. Your brand can be the chud that AI day trades and does no work but makes a ton of money. Like, bro, imagine you opened up a YouTube video, like your shirt's like too small for you, so you're like pretty fat. You just have like Doritos all over your chest, and you have like a laptop and like 5 Mac Minis like running Claude, and you're like, yeah, I just made $10,000. Like, now you look like nobody else. And even if your information is like a little bit worse than some other people's, as long as it works and your visual aesthetic and your brand is so unique and, remember, how do I say, memorable and sticky to viewers, something that people are going to come back to, then that's how you succeed. You can't look like everybody else. You can't just, have the guru wall behind you. I always say the guru wall. You know what I'm talking about, the wood panels. Like, there's nothing wrong with those inherently, but like if you actually want the highest chance to succeed, and what we always push our clients to do is develop a strong, sticky, unique, memorable brand for yourself. Okay, you need to look, sound, and act differently than everybody else. You need to be true to yourself. You need to take your best characteristics and amplify them 10 to 100x, right? See all these monsters on the table here?
Yeah.
There you go. I always wear the color black. I always have the monsters. I have the high rise behind me because it has, some social proof. I just moved here, granted, but this is all like a brand building tactic. Like, none of this is accidental. Does that make sense?
When it comes to analytics or kind of critiquing the video, what do I need to be looking at? Is it just views and subscribers? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, this is where a strategist is very helpful, because there's like a million edge cases that I could go over. And at the same time, the algorithm is a black box. So technically, like, every single YouTube strategist could just be like flat out wrong. Granted, I'm not saying they are, like, many YouTube strategists are like incredibly trustworthy. I like to think I'm very trustworthy based on my results as well. But nobody really knows how the algorithm works. It's kind of just like based on our experiences, based on things we've tested, we can come to, an estimated conclusion of how to interpret things. And different strategists will interpret YouTube analytics in different ways. I'll just tell you some things I look at. So after 48 hours, you'll get a retention graph on your YouTube videos. If you have like 10 views, then literally no data is going to be useful to you whatsoever. But if you're getting more than like 100 views, let's say, you're going to get a retention graph. In the first 30 seconds, depending on your niche, I like to baseline at like 65% retention in the first 30 seconds is like acceptable, right? If you have a very international audience, for example, on my main channel, I get lots of people from the US, but I also get lots of Indians, Pakistanis, people from Nigeria, people from like Germany, right? Non-native English speaking countries. So that retention is naturally going to be lower. I have another client, for example, who is getting hundreds of thousands of views, and he's like a philanthropic creator. He is like full US, blue collar, 45 plus audience. So we're baselining his retention at like 75%, let's say, because they're all native English speakers. So your hook is the first place I would look. 99% of people get the hook wrong. We can talk about that later. Next thing I look at is, in that retention graph, are there any noticeable dips? Your graph should be pretty flat after the intro, because once people are hooked in, they should be hooked in if you script well. If there are dips, you need to literally like scrub to those in YouTube and understand where you went wrong so you never do that again. Next thing I look at CTR, but I don't. Like, a lot of people have this understanding of CTR that is totally wrong. People think I need a 7% CTR to blow up. I need a 10% CTR. Oh, your CTR is better than mine. Literally doesn't matter. Understand, CTR is not like this like rating out of 10. It's a percentage. And a percentage is relative to the number of views you're getting. And like, low-key, you can baseline CTR, but you should not be comparing your CTR to literally anybody else's but yours, even if you're in the same niche. This is my understanding, at least. The way I look at CTR, because naturally, you'll also notice that all of your YouTube metrics, especially CTR, will fall as you get more views. The reason for this is your very first group of people that are clicking and getting recommended your video are typically your returning viewers and subscribers. So subscribers are pretty much a vanity metric at this point. YouTube doesn't really care about your subs. They care about your returning viewers, which can be your subscribers, but can also be non-subscribers, people that have watched multiple of your videos, because these people are the most likely to engage with a future, video that you put out. So with that in mind, if your returning viewers are the first people that get a video recommended, this means that regardless of how good the video is, like a lot of them are just going to click because they like you, right? Compare that to as the video gets recommended broader and broader and broader and broader, these people no longer care at all about you, right? So now you're like really, really competing. There's higher stakes and your CTR is naturally going to fall. And YouTube knows this too. YouTube is not going to kill your video just because they're like, oh, his CTR went down 0.1%. Like, that's not how it works. YouTube is like way smarter than us. They will know who to recommend your video to. Like, oftentimes, especially if you're a new channel, your graph is going to look like up, staircase, right? This is not like a hard rule, but what it means is that YouTube is testing a video. YouTube, especially now, is so susceptible to spam and AI channels. Like, they're not just going to blow you up within 2 days, especially if you're small. I've had videos that are on like 500 views on a small channel, and by day 5, I had this one video actually this year get to 1 million views after 5 days. Sorry, it like spiked up and eventually hit 1 million views, but 5 days it was 500 views. I had a video for a client actually we just posted recently. He has around 2,000 subscribers. The video was at like 100 views for a couple of days and then shot up to 1,000 views. This guy's almost never gotten 1,000 views before, and then it flatlined and then it shot up again. Right? This is because YouTube is just constantly trying to figure out who to recommend the video to. You can't just look at your CTR on day 1, you have no subs, and be like, oh, I'm so cooked, I'm quitting YouTube. Like, no, you should just delete YouTube Studio from your phone, honestly. It's like hour by hour, unless you have like 100,000 subscribers and you're actually getting a ton of views, nothing is going to change. Like, the only scenario is that you become unhappy by seeing it. And if you're a big channel, you should also delete it. Just have your strategist. Like, I have YouTube Studio. And that's because I actually need to be obsessing over the results, and I'm at a point now where I have an understanding of how YouTube videos are going to blow up and like what different channel sizes and audiences are going to, what levels they're going to engage at. So I can kind of detach myself. I can confidently look at a video and be like, this will blow up later. It's chill. The channel has 1,000 subscribers. It literally just needs time because I'm confident in my processes. But, when I was first starting YouTube, I would face the problem that every other creator faces, which is I look at my analytics, refresh, nothing happens. I'm like, bro, like this sucks. I'm demotivated. I don't want to make more videos. So that's basically where I'd baseline for your CTR too. I would compare it to your other videos within the first 24 hours. So it's like same time frame, same audience, same niche, same types of videos. Like then it's like you're kind of comparing apples to apples. But even then, it depends how many videos you have up. If you have 100 videos up, you actually can probably use CTR to basically decide, is the video going to blow up or not? But it depends on all these variables. So I would look at your retention, I'd look at your retention graph, and I would look at just your CTR in the first like 24 hours or so. But to be honest with you, like the better thing to do in the way I look at YouTube, I don't obsess over, a specific metric at a specific time. I'm looking more at general trends based on the size of the channel and just being confident in my processes. Like I have processes that have worked, for a number of years for a certain type of channel, which is educational creators mainly. Even entertainment creators. So as long as I know I'm doing those processes effectively and I look, sound, and act different than other people, the brand is super sticky, super unique, and I know that it's good content, it will eventually blow up. And if a video doesn't blow up, understand that social media is a game of, Understand that social media is a game of poker and not chess. You can literally like do everything right, like pocket aces and bet all your money, and then you could still lose because somebody else, gets a flush. I'm not that good at poker, but you can still lose basically, right? It's the same with social media. You can literally do everything right on one video and still be wrong. Even strategists do this. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Not every video I make goes viral, but if I'm posting 4 videos in a month or 8 videos in a month, most of them will go viral. And it doesn't matter that one doesn't go viral. You have to have losers to have winners also. So a lot of people get really caught up in their feelings if one video doesn't do good. Like everybody has had videos that flop. Even the absolute killer A-player, S-tier, best strategists that I know behind the top channels have videos that flop. Just recently, I saw people talking about how like Ali Abdallah's views are down. Like, okay, A, he's still getting more views than like most people, and B, like it happens. Like social media is not chess; it is poker.
Right.
You can have everything that you do right and still lose. So you need to also couple that with an amount of volume that kind of mitigates that luck. Just increase your surface area of luck as well, because again, like you can try to do everything right, but sometimes it just won't work out, and that's okay.
Okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So with AI and everything that's going on, right? We see AI, like I said before, AI UGC. Now we're seeing basically that you can clone now, and just it's getting not at a hand, but it's taking place very quickly. What do you think the future of content is? Is it like different formatting? Is it now live streaming? What are your 2 cents on the future of content, where you see things potentially going?
So one of the biggest changes to YouTube in 2026 is the rise of a certain type of viewer that if you are able to get watching your channel, it's kind of a cheat code to virality. So these types of viewers will watch your videos for much longer than a normal type of viewer, will make you more money from YouTube AdSense, dramatically more money, in fact, will binge your whole channel, and will convert to your offer at a much higher percentage. This viewer is a TV viewer, and TV viewers make up over 60% of watch time on YouTube in 2026. I don't know about you. I was shocked to hear this when I first learned, because like I watch YouTube on my TV, but like 60%, like that's like insane. That's the majority of viewers on YouTube, or the majority of watch time is coming from TVs. Now, so TV viewers are so important, because not only are they taking up the majority of watch time, all those advantages I just outlined for you, right? TV viewers, more ads are shown to TV viewers on TVs to basically replicate traditional commercials. So your RPMs, the money you make from YouTube AdSense, is going to be much higher. That's only the start. TV viewers tend to watch for longer, because TV viewers, the nature of the way they watch, they're not, going to get distracted by an Instagram notification or a Snapchat notification. Like there's no notifications on a TV. On top of this too, people will watch TV when they're, going to sleep. So if they fall asleep, like it's just going to keep playing, right? They're going to watch the whole thing. They watch TV when they're just on the couch. Like they're not just going to watch one video and turn it off. They're going to like chill for a while, When they're Netflix and chilling, it's going to go on in the background. When they're cooking, it's going to go on in the background, right? So TV viewers tend to watch for longer, and, don't just get easily distracted like they would on a phone or on a computer. You can't open up your TV on the subway and get off.
100%.
You open up your TV when you're trying to chill, right?
Yeah.
On top of this too, YouTube TV has this algorithm called the autoplay algorithm. So on top of this, right, because TVs are often watched in the background or kind of on the side, autoplay is able to play your videos back to back to back to back to back to back on TVs, assuming you actually have content. This is why it's so important to post consistently and post, the same type of content in the same niche for the same type of audience around the same brand. Because if you do get into this TV autoplay algorithm, your videos, imagine someone falls asleep to your channel, bro, your whole channel can autoplay. That's literally free views.
Yeah.
Like, that's an extreme example, but like, even if it's like they're actively watching, because you obviously want like real fans, you don't want to just choose everything and have people that just sleep to your videos and don't actually know who you are. Like if I'm on the couch and I really like one of your videos, I don't have to like go search up another. Like it's just gonna play. And I'm just going to be chilling for 3 hours. Like instead of, binge watching Euphoria, I'm going to be binge watching Nate Curtis. I'm going to be binge watching Marlon, right? That is the power of a TV viewer. And on top of this too, because viewers are spending more time with you and just generally tend to have more buying power as a result of a sort of, bias towards people that have TVs. I mean, broke people sometimes have TVs, but like, people in third world countries are generally just less likely to own, a big flat screen TV than, a Western viewer with more money, let's say. So in general, TV viewers are one of the most important assets to consider when you are making YouTube videos, because they can be a cheat code to virality. You can even see in your analytics, and this is going to vary niche to niche as well. Some niches are going to be more optimized for TV viewers, but in general, you can make your videos more optimized for TV viewers as well. 3 steps to that. 1, make your whole channel bingeable, which you should do anyway. So then, viewers come to one video, then they go watch the rest of your videos. It's going to just blow your whole channel up.
Is that the outro? Like, hey, watch this video next. Your
outro should be like and subscribe. I mean, it can be, but you're just wasting your time. It should be, and if you like this video, you should also check out this video where I do next. In fact, make it even more organic. So now that you know how to script viral YouTube videos, you actually need to do this to film your YouTube videos too. Check out this video next. So it's like a very organic CTA where you actually, like, it's just another like sub hook, like a rehook, like we talked about, just to
create the bingeability.
Exactly. Bingeability is so important. People don't subscribe from one video. Like some people will, but there's data that basically supports, people will subscribe after 3 to 5 times seeing you. Right. This is across all platforms, which is why volume is so important. And you're also competing with people now because AI has made content creation so much easier. You're competing with people that are posting way more than they ever have. And there's people making raw channels where they're literally posting every day. Right. So how are you going to compete just posting once a month? Realistically, you're not. So you need to post with more volume. And next thing too is say link in the description. That's fine. But viewers on TVs can't find your description. Like it's like impossible to navigate to. Instead, you should also put a QR code on screen. Say link in the description or scan this QR code. So then they can just like boom, scan
QR
the QR
code.
code, be done. And then they're on their phone while the video is playing, and they don't have to like leave. This is even good for
Yeah.
desktop viewers too. Instead of navigating
Right,
through the
right.
video, like you just on your phone, right? And you just let it go.
Yeah, because I mean, because like even I'll take my audience for instance. Majority of it's actually desktop. I speak a lot about AI, right? So it's like you're using the tools or whatever. You'll pop out YouTube, and it's a bit of not an older audience, but a lot of people are working from their office or their MacBook or whatever. So talking about the TV viewer, so one, the bingeability, so the outro, cool, to help the bingeability effect. If I'm, for instance, take my audience again, if we're desktop, how do I slowly maneuver that to the TV? Or is it just because it's the niche based?
It's not the type of thing where you want to be like, oh, I don't have enough TV viewers. I need to get more. That's like saying like,
Okay.
oh, I have too many. People say this actually. I have too many Indian viewers. They're like, they don't have money, whatever. Like you can't control these types of things. You don't even need to control these types of things. You need to just think about your niche and how do I own my niche, right? So it's not about how can I get more TV viewers and less of these other people. It's just like how can I get more viewers? And then the percentage of TV viewers that are in that niche will just be yours. So again, it's just like how can you make better content? And how can you also make sure the TV viewers are happy? It's not how can I get more TV viewers. It's how can I make sure TV viewers are also happy, right? So it's bingeability, it's QR codes, and it's longer videos. Again, this doesn't mean stretch out your video. This will actually get you less views. What it does mean is that you now have the leeway to make, a 60-minute compilation video, let's say, or make a 4-hour video because people will actually watch it, assuming it is good. It's not like you can't be in this mindset of like, oh, no one's ever going to sit down on a phone. I've never watched a 4-hour video. Like I promise you, people watch 4-hour videos. Look at a lot of educational channels. Their top videos on the channel are oftentimes like incredibly long. This is because people, even if they watch 10 minutes of that video, that's more watch time that is going to be generated from that video than like watching a full 8-minute video, let's say.
Yeah. Okay. So so TV viewers is one format or one thing you see the future going. One thing I'm interested in, and I'm trying to do it with my content, is the whole aspect of kind of show don't tell, right? Because again, with AI, it's like I can write up a script very easily, and then you can spew, right? You see a lot of content creators kind of aiming in that direction as well.
So this is one of the most effective storytelling principles that you can use in your content, and it's this idea of show not tell. So show not tell is a classic storytelling format that now is getting people literally hundreds of thousands and millions of views when it comes to YouTube in 2026. When I was like, 12 years old taking an English class, they would always hammer down show not tell. Don't just say Gino was flabbergasted. You should instead use like dialogue or be like her cheeks puffered up and like whatever, her eyes grinned or whatever. Like you use like descriptive language, right? With a video, you have the advantage that you can take this one step further. Instead of just saying something, how can you show it? So internally for us, we do over 100 million long form views a year for top personal brands and businesses on YouTube. Our internal guidelines force editors to, whenever possible, if you ever are referencing something that actually happened, whether it's revenue, a story, footage, an old video you posted, always show the actual thing. Never do this bullshit where you like show like a fake version of it or like just put
B-roll or whatever.
Always show the thing. If you say you made $100,000, like dude, I could literally just be like, I make $1 billion a day, whatever, and make it more believable and show you like a fake YouTube plaque. Like I'm not going to do that though. I'm going to show you the actual channels that I have worked on or the actual revenue screenshot from my Stripe. You should not be scared to show real things because it is going to put you miles ahead over all the other people in your niche. Because I assume like, whoever's watching this, you're legit. You have so much value to share, but most people in your niche are probably just grifting. They're just lying and like they're gurus and just trying to sell a course that they've never done anything with, right?
Right.
So to get ahead of those people, show real stuff. If you say, I was talking to my brother, or when I was 15, show a picture of you like in school. Don't just say it, show it as much as possible. Another example too. So here's a script writing framework that every single YouTuber should use. So you're going to first have your main hook, then you're going to section out the video. You're going to do a sub hook for each section. Then there's 3 parts to each section of the video where you're going to show, not tell. First, you're going to open with a story. This way, humans tend to connect with stories. Since we were literally cavemen, bro, people told stories around the campfire. Biology, like the world changes, but biology and human nature do not really change that much overall. So now humans still connect with stories. So open it with a story. If, for example, your first, part of the video is principle 1, always have an abundance mindset. Open with a story that's like, when I was 16 years old, I had $100 left to my name, and this mentor said, pay me $100 and we'll hop on a call. This was the hardest decision for me to make at the time, but then I realized that, if I paid this guy, then I would just make more money. This is an example of an abundance mindset, and all winning entrepreneurs have this, whatever. The second part, you're going to elaborate on it. So what I just said, this is an example of an abundance mindset. An abundance mindset says that, whatever, right? Boom. So you explain the thing. The third thing is connected to the viewer. So now it's like, it's so what? This is another like writing thing my teachers always used to like tell us, which is, by the way, like if you're in school, pay attention in your English classes. Deadass will make you go viral on YouTube.
There you go. Wow.
Pull all these principles. So it's, you start with a story, then you explain, then you connect it to the viewer. So that whole script is going to be like principle number 1. This is the thing that all millionaires have that every single normal person does not have, something like that. So when I was 15, $100, blah, whatever, then you explain, this is an abundance mindset, whatever. Then you connect it to the viewer. So next time you are thinking of, next time frugal thoughts enter your mind, understand that nobody ever got rich by being frugal. Instead, do what all these other millionaires do and act in abundance, and you will attract money. Boom. So it's story, explain, connect it to the viewer. Then you rehook to the next point. That is how you show, not tell. Instead of just saying, have an abundance mindset, it's like, why should I believe you? Like, I don't know if you've made money. I don't connect with you at all. You haven't shown me what this looks like in practice. And I have no idea, like, how to do this. Like, you say abundance mindset. Like, what does that even mean? But now I've actually closed all of those gaps with this storytelling framework. I've opened with a story. So it's like, wow, this is maybe a little relatable. I understand it now that it's told to me in this way. And I've seen real, like, examples of this. Then it's explained. Which is good. And finally, I'm told exactly how to implement this into my life. Now, this is super actionable. And now I might just leave the video unless the next section has another rehook. And it's like, wow, that was great value, but this next one, it's nothing without this next one. And then the next one is nothing without this one, this one, this one, this one. Then you build to the 8th point, and then you've just brainwashed somebody into watching your whole video with basic storytelling.
Okay, so moving into AI, talk to me or walk me through what AI tools are you currently using to kind of speed up the workflow. 1, where do you find it useful? And number 2, where are you still not relying on it too much?
So 99% of people don't realize that pretty much all the thumbnails they see in their feed are AI. Everyone thinks they hate AI, but AI is actually being used by pretty much all of your favorite creators, and you don't even realize it. I can't name names, but I have actual data on this, I'm just leave it at that. I have actual data on this. You would be so surprised to know how many people are using AI thumbnails. In fact, if you hire any thumbnail designer, I guarantee they're also using AI, which is a byproduct of that. Now, what most people associate AI thumbnails with is ChatGPT, make me a thumbnail, and it gives you this slop, right?
Sure.
Obviously, nobody is clicking on slop, but the reality is AI is actually a tool that pretty much all designers are using now. And if you're making YouTube videos, you should also use, because it's not going to impact your performance. We've done tests on this too. Obviously, again, if a video looks like slop, then no one's clicking on it. But just because you use AI, it's not like it's going to, artificially limit your reach on YouTube. Pretty much every thumbnail we make uses AI in some capacity, and we get over 100 million views a year for our clients. Look at pretty much any other agency, strategist, even YouTube channel, they're pretty much all using AI. Even if, they don't realize it, their designers are using AI to do something. So AI has basically made thumbnails cheaper, faster, and it's not putting designers out of business. What it is putting out of business is people that have no YouTube knowledge. People that just execute on a graphic design, they're out of business now. What is in business is people that know good thumbnail first principles. I always tell thumbnail designers, because I want to help them, I'm like, listen, if you really, really want to get hired by these big clients don't value somebody that can do art, right? That's like what an AI can do. What they value is somebody that actually is a packaging expert and can give them concepts, angles, can make intelligent revisions on thumbnails, do intelligent variations of things to test, run the tests for them, swap the titles and thumbnails later. This type of person is going to get insanely rich in 2026 if they really hone in on those skills. And normal thumbnail designers probably are going to lose out overall.
Sure. Any specific tools? Like I know 1 of 10 has their thumbnail generator. I know vidIQ is starting to do their thumbnail generator. Would you still just hire that out, or just even use ChatGPT at this point?
I don't like to give free promo. I think some thumbnail generators are better than others, but just try them out and see what does the best. To be honest with you, I've never found a thumbnail generator that can just like do the thing for you. There's always
Okay.
going to be, at least from my experience, and you could say you need to just use it better. But if I'm thinking of like a business owner who's just making thumbnails, first off, I always advise you just hire a team to grow you quickly. But if you're doing things
Yeah.
yourself, like I would use multiple AIs to make thumbnails. A great strategy is
Okay.
actually asking AI how to prompt itself. So if you are using, a normal AI that's not an actual AI thumbnail generator, literally ask it how to effectively prompt. And you should also speak to AI. You should always speak to AI because you're going to give it more context, more nuance. You're going to maybe emphasize certain things. Like treat it like a human. Treat it like a human. Don't just type. You should like speak to AI pretty much every single time if you want to get the best responses. But even if you're using an AI thumbnail generator that's actually made for thumbnails, you should still ask other AIs how to prompt it because it's going to help you out the most. And also generate lots of variations. Try multiple ones. See what works the best for you. Or you can just hire a designer. But just understand like you can't be anti-AI thumbnail and want to grow on YouTube because if you hire any designer, they're going to be using AI as well.
Okay. Where else do you see AI being implemented?
So for us, we use it for our scripts, and we're able to make scripts that perform very, very well, are incredibly high retention, and don't sound like AI. The reason for this, we have actually a very unique approach to script writing that allows us to go viral and have the best retention on our scripts. And this is because we're not scripting our videos word for word. See, when you script a video word for word, and the client's not necessarily like this natural, like crazy charismatic speaker, they're going to sound like a robot. You're going to see them like reading their teleprompter in the distance. They're going to not say things the way they would actually say them because it's, you write
Right.
differently than you speak. Versus if you have an outline that is retention optimized and fit to their voice and their content, they're going to sound very authentic, very like themselves. They're going to speak naturally, and they're going to be able to do what I'm doing now and just like speak normally. If I was like reading off a teleprompter, my response here would not be as engaging. People are going to click off sooner. They're not going to resonate as much with my message, and they're going to trust me less overall. So a script outline looks like this. You first have a word-for-word hook. In general, any hooks or sub-hooks that you write should be word for word because it is actually like, it does actually matter what you say. It's like 2 or 3 lines. So you should actually treat each line like it's like end all be all. Because literally the
Right.
first thing that a viewer sees, the highest retention drops in any YouTube video are at the beginning. So you do need to like actually like really, really hone in on your hooks, right? So write your video's hook word for word, then section out your video into either chapters or talking points. For each talking point or chapter, have a sub hook that again is scripted word for word. Then it's prompted bullet points. So for example, if the client's name is Ben, we're going to be like, Ben shares the story of X. Ben then explains X. Finally, Ben tells the viewer to do X. If we do it in third person, they literally can't read it word for word. Like they're not able to. Like I would just be saying like, Ben says
Right.
X. Like that's like no one's going to do that, right?
Yeah.
So if we do this, basically a client will feed us a voice note or a Loom or sales call or their AI agent that has like their brain embedded in it or
Yep.
them speaking on stage, whatever. So it's content they already know. We then turn that into an optimized script outline where the highest, leverage points of retention, which are going to be the hooks, are heavily, heavily optimized. Then the video is simply outlined for them. This way, they speak naturally on things that they care about. The video is in their voice and they don't sound like a robot, and people trust them, are more engaged, and the video resonates more with viewers because it's actually in your voice. Pretty much all the top YouTube channels do this, by the way. Some people use word-for-word scripts, but not as many as you would think. I would say 99% of creators I talk to use word-for-word scripts. I always recommend them to try without going word for word. And you can obviously, add more bullet points, add things to remind yourself, but using script outlines forces you to be better on camera. It forces you to speak in your voice, and it forces you to, maybe draw on some additional nuance that you might not have thought of when you're writing, because people write differently than they speak. But if you have an outline that's kind of prompting you, and it's already stuff you're an expert on, you may just like think of another story, something you forgot. You may, think of something that you didn't write down. This way, it feels more like a conversation. It feels more personable, authentic. Viewers will resonate more with it, and they'll be more engaged overall.
Okay. What's one controversial take you have about YouTube in general?
Most people get this wrong about YouTube. People basically try and treat YouTube like it's meta ads. So you're going to target one very specific type of viewer that is your ideal client, and you're just going to only get that type of person. The reality is, if your ICP is this super niche thing, YouTube is not meta ads. It's not Instagram ads. YouTube is a mass market social media platform. YouTube makes money when lots and lots of watch time is generated from a video because viewers watch ads, and then YouTube gets a cut of those ads, or they get the money from the premium viewers, whatever, right? As a result, YouTube is incentivized to push out content to a mass market group of people. So say you have this ICP and you go super niche. Typically what happens, you actually will get some of your ICP and they will convert because you're making very, very actionable, specific content for them. But then you're also going to get all these random people or these people that are slightly outside of your ICP. And because you're making very, very niche content, YouTube is going to see that these viewers aren't interested and just bury your video. You know, if you have no audience on YouTube and you go super niche, you might be able to cap out at like 1,000 views, which is fine. But if you really, really want to take advantage of a social media platform, you should just go broad. You should try and own the niche. Think of like Anil Patel. I ran his channel. I got him over 100,000 new subs in 4 months with this strategy. Think of a Dan Martell. Think of an Alex Hormozy, Greg Lavecchia, right? All these massive, massive personal brands or quickly growing personal brands and businesses are using this strategy here because they understand, you know, Alex Hormozy's ICP is business owners doing whatever, over 5, 20, 10 mil a year. I don't even know, right? It's not like he's making a video that's like, how to sell your company if you're making more than 10 million a year. He would get some of his ICP, but he actually generates way more business and way more leverage and way more of an advantage over all of his competitors because he simply owns the niche. I think the reason, very hot take, the reason a lot of people avoid doing this is because it's way harder than going niche. I think anybody could find some outliers, anybody can make these super niche videos, and you could get some traction and convert some people. What is way harder is going broader than that and trying to optimize for slightly over your ICP. You know, if you just make videos of you like doing TikTok dances, then that's like obviously too broad, right? But it's the example of, let's say you run a painting business and you want to help painting business owners. Instead of just making how to grow a painting business, you should be like 10 boring businesses to start in 2026 and painting is like the third one. Or start talking about how to integrate AI into your business, let's say, right? So you want to do stuff that is slightly broader than your ICP, but still applies to your ICP, right? Here's what this does for you. This does a few things. If you become the #1 brand in your niche, you just have much more leverage over everybody else who is small. Some people will say, I only like to watch small YouTubers. That's great, but all these people have also watched the big YouTubers too. If I ever want to grow my business, who's the first name that pops into my mind? It is Alex Hormozy, and that is no accident. It's not because I'm in his ICP. In fact, I'm not in his ICP, but I might one day become in his ICP. And even though I'm not in his ICP, somebody who is in his ICP is still watching the content that is broad because it still applies to them. On top of this, when you have a big brand, understanding how the YouTube algorithm pushes out content, if I have 100,000 subs and I post a very niche video, I'm going to reach more of my target avatar than I am if I have 100 subscribers. YouTube's going to show more bias towards my channel. I have returning viewers that are going to come back to every video anyway. And who's to say, you know, your ICP is watching all these niche videos? They might probably not be watching these niche videos because they don't have that many views and they can't find them. It's hard to discover them. YouTube is a mass market social media platform. It is not meta ads where you target one type of viewer. The beauty of social media is it gives you an unprecedented advantage to target not just your ICP, but people broader than your ICP, people that aren't in your ICP, but will become in your ICP. You know, Hormozy's been posting content for 4 or 5 years. How many people do you think he has converted into, you know, portfolio companies that weren't in his ICP, you know, 5 years ago, but are now, right? Or people that found him from an Instagram reel about how he used to order Chipotle every day, right? If you can become the #1 brand in your niche, you objectively have more leverage than anybody else. People typically, you know, there's obviously edge cases, but it's very, very hard for somebody to, you know, spend 10 grand with you off of just one YouTube video. Like that's honestly silly to think that someone's going to do that. Granted, you can funnel them down.
Yeah.
But the most effective way to use organic social is to create as many touch points for an ideal buyer of yours to give them value, right? So Hormozy is not just posting niche content. He has his second channel, but the second channel works because he's built up an insane amount of rapport with audiences on social with his main YouTube channel. And he's posting multiple times a day on X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, every other platform, right? This is what you should do. You should go slightly broader, try and own your niche. If you're a real estate agent, be the best real estate agent on YouTube, right? At least the best in your city, if not your state. Honestly, real estate's a bit of a different example because you're a very local audience. So you actually do want to go a bit niche there. But say you're like a painting contractor, you acquire painting businesses, right? You don't want to just talk about painting businesses in Colorado. You don't even want to just talk about painting businesses because maybe a business owner is not watching painting content. Maybe they're
Right.
just, tired after a long day and see like a boring business video or a video about like a garbage collector because they just find it interesting because they're like pretty blue collar, right? You've gotten them into your funnel. And now when you post a new, niche video, they're actually going to see it because they've seen your other videos. They're not just going to find it on their own because they don't watch, super niche videos regularly.
Yeah.
It's just about creating touch points. And again, both ways can work. I have friends that actually go super niche and do very well. Typically, from what I've seen, though, where I at least get the best results for people and where I see people getting better results in going niche is going broad initially and building the audience. If you have an audience, you have more leverage than anybody else. If you build an audience, you can go speak on stage somewhere. You can get on the Jack Neal podcast, for example, and just reach millions of people that have built up a ton of trust and are a very high-quality audience, right? It gives you more leverage overall is my hot take.
One of the most laborious processes of the entire content creation game for me at least, has been the editing aspect of things. Right? Like you got to sit there, you got to clip it out, Premiere Pro, whatever you're using. Has AI come into the editing scene at all for you guys?
A little bit. So you can use AI to make really good raw cuts of videos, but we haven't gotten to a point. We actually don't do editing for people. I'll headhunt and find editing teams, but editing for me, I would not recommend you trying to fully generate an AI video. It's going to be shit. YouTube will actually suppress the video because they're going to see it slop, and they want to avoid that.
Okay.
And obviously, viewers won't engage with it well. The best advice I have is to hire an editor. If you have to edit yourself and you have no money, then I would use AI to make a really good raw cut of the video. You can even use AI to generate B-roll. There's some really good places to do that, and I've seen that actually do very well. Editors will sometimes use AI to create graphics that look really good. But overall, editing is the one thing that AI can't just do for you.
Sure.
In fact, I would not recommend AI generating videos. I would not recommend using AI avatars either. I'm sure there's going to be people in the comments that say, oh, this channel is making $500K a month with AI avatars. Great. Go ahead and try it. I just don't think it's going to work for you, honestly. I never recommend my clients do it. YouTube is very, very anti-AI slop and spam. And no one wants to watch AI avatars. I don't care if you're making videos for an 80-year-old audience. Objectively, they don't want to watch it. They just don't know. But regardless, it's not that hard to just film on camera. The AI avatar is going to be more of a hassle than it needs to be, and there's just a low chance of it blowing up from my experience. YouTube doesn't like AI slop, spam. Might even demonetize or ban your channel. Who knows? I would definitely avoid it.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so to end off here, lastly, so we've covered script writing. We covered where AI is used in the process. We covered some secrets. Talk to me about Spotify and Facebook.
So Spotify and Facebook are two of the most underrated platforms for YouTubers in 2026, and it's because 99% of people don't know how to use them or know that they're going to be useful. So I'll start with Spotify. Spotify in 2026 supports long-form videos as video podcasts. Spotify payouts in terms of ad revenue actually tend to be higher than YouTube, but your viewership is lower. Typically, Spotify is not this money-making cheat code. I mean, in a way it kind of is, but I always phrase Spotify as this way to just make extra money. And it depends on the niche, right? If you make 8-minute, highly edited After Effects videos, then bro, no one's watching that on Spotify. Use your brain. But, for example, we have a client in the dating psychology niche. He makes these longer form, 20 to 40-minute videos about men's issues and dating psychology. Those are great on Spotify. She needs to start posting on Spotify. I've told her she needs to. She's getting on it soon. Spotify is really good for those types of videos. Think of anything that could be just really good listen to audio only. The best practices for Spotify, here's exactly what I would do. I would first make a community post that says, hey, I post early on Spotify. Go check this out. I would also put it in all your pinned comments. The reason for this is Spotify discovery is pretty shit. So you need to get people over to Spotify for it to actually work.
Right.
Then all you got to do is you don't even have to post early. Just say you post early so then people go there. And some people prefer to watch videos, as podcasts or in the car or when they sleep anyway. So you'll get, an audience of people watching. And then what you're going to do, you're going to take your videos, you're going to upload them with a title, a thumbnail, and a description. You're going to upload them with both video and audio so they get pushed out the most, and you're done. But if you're already making money off of YouTube or you're already posting YouTube content, there's no reason not to do it. And if you're busy, just hire a college kid to do it for you. That's what a lot of my clients do anyway.
Okay.
And they actually make a lot of money off of Spotify. It's extra money that is in their pocket. And pretty much everybody overlooked Spotify until now because, I mean, now everybody's posting about it on Twitter. But before this, like, Spotify was pretty low-key about it. Spotify wants more creators, though. They actually lowered their monetization requirements to what they are now. I believe it was in January. And they're offering, like, pretty high, CPMs / RPMs on the videos, so you're cut of the ad rev. So
Yeah.
it's a good opportunity for people. Facebook is one of the most untapped platforms on social media. Because Facebook, everybody thinks, oh, Facebook's for my mom, Facebook's for my grandma. Like, Facebook, your ICP is on Facebook. I don't care what niche you're in. Facebook is so desperate for creators right now. Facebook is so special because Facebook doesn't care what you post or how much you post. You can literally take a video and then post it again 3 days later and then post it again.
Really? Really?
Facebook will not limit your
Wow.
reach. Facebook needs creators. Facebook has monetization. Instagram and Facebook are both owned by Meta, but only Facebook has monetization. Granted, Facebook monetization, you have to apply for it. I forget what the exact requirements are. But again, this is literally free views. You should post all your long-form videos. You should post all your shorts. You should post written posts on there. And you should also take your long-form videos and cut them up into mid-form clips. So if you have a 20-minute video, you should cut out 3 to 5 minute clips of that video and also post them to Facebook. Literally post everything to Facebook. I have a client. He's in like a philanthropic niche. He runs a media company. He has around 150K on YouTube, and he has like 400K on Instagram because more of his ICP are actually on Facebook. And on Facebook, he posts way more than YouTube. He posts around like, I don't know the exact number, maybe like 7 or 8 shorts a day. We post a video a week for him on YouTube. On Facebook, it's like he'll post like 10 or 16 times a day on Facebook because like they don't care. Even stuff that's just like a purely like sponsored reel, a brand wants to pay him for it, he'll post it. It's not going to hurt you. Facebook doesn't care how much you post because they're so desperate for content on the platform. I actually have a video on my second channel where I detail all the best practices for Facebook and what type of post you should make. So you should check that out too. If you want to work with me directly and get a free audit of your YouTube strategy, you can click the first link in the description, or you can go check out my other socials where I drop free value every single day.
Lovely. And we'll have his links down below as well. Nate, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.